For 2025, one of my goals was to build more real grade Gunpla. Well, we're in March now, and now my collection of real grades is up to 5. There's some good, some bad, and some not so good as well. This was my first real grade I ever had, this being the real grade Mark II Gunpla, and honestly, it's one of my favorite Gunpla period. It's really awesome. That being said, this and every other one of these kits suffers from a lot of the same issues. One of these being these hands, these movable hands. I've never been a fan of these. As you can see, they're only held on by 2 little small ball joints that, especially with this guy since I've had him for a while, have gotten a little loose over time. And this is another problem I have with this kit and all these other Gunpla, real grade Gunpla in general. I just have pieces falling off all the time, man. I don't know. I haven't had this with my master grades, really, or my high grades. It's a pain. I'm not sure exactly what's causing this, because as you'll see here, like, yeah, even these little knee pieces, everything, a lot of them just seem to fall off. Also, don't mind the hand. That's not blood. That's just marker from detailing up. Okay, you'll see later on in this video, actually. But despite pieces falling off and just some general wonkiness, my biggest complaint with these guys so far has actually been with the stiffness, at least with this guy. I am so scared to move him around. Everything just feels like it's so tight, and that if I move it around too much, it's going to get too weak. And I know that's a problem. People call it like the early real grade syndrome. The inner frame falls apart. And this guy, the biggest thing I didn't like about him are these kind of cloth, I don't know what you call them, these tubes that you get to put on. Not a big fan. Also not a big fan this guy. This was my next real grade I ever built. This is the real grade RX-78-2 1.0. I hear the 2.0 is better, but I've only got the 1.0. Looks wise, he's a looker. He's pretty good. I've gone on record saying this design of the Granddaddy Gundam, both it and the 3.0 share, is one of my favorites. But again, look at that. I really don't like moving this. It's so, it just feels wrong. I almost feel like I'm going to break it, like something is not supposed to be where it is. I think everything is built properly, but it's still just like everything. It's like moving through jelly or something. It's not fun. It's not fun. And this guy, I was surprised he hasn't really done it here yet. But so many times when I try to pose him, everything just falls apart. The skirting, the shield, the hands, again, I don't like the movable hands on this guy. They do an alright job holding up certain things, but like as you can see with the shield here, they're kind of sitting there, but I don't know. I think the design of real grades has probably been my favorite part of this line so far in general, just because I do like the idea of, you know, a real life robot or a real grade, you know. So that's what's kind of drawn me to this line, even if the builds haven't been particularly great up to this point. The Mark II is alright, but this guy right here was a pain. I have a whole video of him up on the channel if you want to go check that out. But this next one, I also have a video on, and was much better in terms of the build and design, and that being the real grade Nu Gundam, one of my favorite kits of all time that I've got now. He's just so great in every single aspect, from the design to the build to the posability. Everything is just great. I again have a whole video on this guy, so I won't go into too much detail, but just so much moving parts, so much everything. There wasn't really anything else extra I could ask for this kit, because it even has most of its pieces, the armor pieces, undergated. So everything just looks so clean, dog. It doesn't even take that much extra work to make it look good. But I'm going to do a lot of extra work, because we're going to do a complete customization of this kit, kind of to the Char Aznavour, kind of Sazabi colors. Because normally I like to, you know, panel line, detail my kits, but even without it, this guy, he looks pretty darn fantastic. Again, panel lining would go a long way, especially with this kit, but because we're going to do that customization, not too worried about it yet. But again, just a fantastic kit overall, highly recommended. One kit I can't recommend though is this real grade Zeta. Oh man, I've got so many problems with this kit. I'm gonna have a whole video out about this guy specifically because of some issues that I've got with it. One of these being this, the chest. Look, there's nothing there. It's just an open cavity, and the arms, the legs, they all just kind of hang out around here. It's kind of weird. It was a really frustrating build. I did not like it because it means things like the legs. Let me get under the skirting here. Things like the legs are held on by this. one little C-clip that I had to glue into place because it kept popping off and the leg would just fall off. I feel like that's just a terrible design. I'm just not one for saying, oh, things should have been better, yada yada. But that was a pain. Again, I will be having a whole video out about this guy because I posted some shorts a while back. I'll have them in the video description or something. But basically, building this guy was a punishment, and I still have to transform him. I've not done that yet. I'm not looking forward to that yet. So if you want to see me struggle and want to see me in pain, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss that, because that will be very, very painful, and I'm not looking forward to that. The final real grade I've built is this guy right here, the Zaku II, and for being the second ever real grade made, it's kind of crazy the difference in this kit versus the RX-78 1.0. This kit holds up surprisingly well, honestly, and it's not nearly as bad of a build. There are some things we'll get into, but just the looks, I really like the design of this a lot. The Zaku's one of my favorites, but see this? See these springs? Yeah, that was a pain. Every single one of these little knobs, tubes, I don't know what you want to call them, you had to kind of like slide into place, and as you can see, there's a lot of nub marks. I still have to go through and clean it up. I just got this guy built. They're a pain. That's probably the only negative I've got about this kit, is those things were a struggle and a half. And again, he's also got these the real grade hands. I don't even know what you call them. But the problem is he only has those real grades and these closed fists. He doesn't come with anything extra, which is a little bit of a pain. I don't know. I also have the high grade Origin Edition, and I don't know, man. It's hard to top that one. It looks pretty darn good, and I like the real grade. Something about the way the head is like kind of placed a little higher up. This looks a little goofy to me, and I'm usually for kind of goofiness, but something about, I don't know, which one do you guys prefer? Let me know down in the comments below, because I think it has to do with the plastic over the mono eye that is really driving me insane. I don't know. I still like it. It's kind of a meh. But those are all the real grades I've built. Let me know which one of these is your guys' favorites down in the comments below. And hopefully we'll have the Zeta video up by next week. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss that. Again, thanks for watching. See you guys next time.